Hey there, friends and enemies, Joper here again, and today we got a bunch of new information about Dragon Age The Veilguard via a developer Q&A in their Discord, and I'm pretty excited to see all the information about this game ramp up as we head to release this fall. It's felt like an eternity since Dragon Age Inquisition did launch, so I can't wait to finally have more Dragon Age in my life. Anyway, let's jump into what they have to say today. First off, the game takes place 10 years after Dragon Age Inquisition, and the Inquisitor will definitely be part of the story. As far as the game itself, you can go back to previous locations as you are moving through the story. It won't be directly linear, but it's not going to be as open as Inquisition was either. It's going to be a little bit more conscious with how they develop these different areas. Everything is handcrafted, curated, not fetch quests, quote unquote. There is no progression block in Veilguard, and locations can fundamentally change based on decisions you make, as well as side quests are all also handcrafted and story focused. Now, this could be a good thing, but I do hope there's a lot of variety as well. I don't want it to be so super serious that every side quest feels like a major deal. There should be some levity with the side quests as well, in my personal opinion. As far as origins and backstory goes, Rook's last name in-game will be defined by the lineage and backstory, and your origin story will come into play a lot during the course of the game, giving you opportunities to define who your Rook is, and there's lots of dialogue options that are affected by that as well. I think all of that is very good. One of the best parts about BioWare games, from Mass Effect to Dragon Age, is the fact that you can really engage with not only your companions, but also the world around you and have an actual effect on how things play out, especially with the story. So hopefully that continues to be the case. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. Talking about crafting and customization, you can improve and customize your gear, but it's different than Inquisition, and there's going to be a mysterious entity who we might know as far as the assisting of players with crafting / all that kind of good stuff. So we'll see if a fan favorite returning dwarf does make an appearance. Now, will there be a transmog system? And the answer to that was hell yeah. So that's a very emphatic answer on that, which I think is a good thing. I do like transmog, and I want to make my companions and my character look like my own. Character creator is very, very deep. They did show off a bit of this previously, and it does look like there's going to be a lot to play around with the character creator, especially with all the different races and everything that you can play as. There's going to be a lot more customization than we've ever had in another Dragon Age game. As far as companions, lots of banter, more banter than they've ever done, they say, which, again, sometimes that can get tedious. Hopefully it's not like something like Dragon's Dogma, where it gets annoying because they say the same thing over and over. I would imagine with Dragon Age, it's going to be a bit more focused and have specific dialogue based on where you're progressing in the story, how you act with your characters, all that kind of good stuff. There's new interruptible and resumable banners so you don't miss anything. Lots of moments where all the companions are interacting with each other, not just your main character. You can change companion outfits for a wider range of appearance. Team is very proud of the companions because it's the deepest companion arcs they've ever done, with heavy decisions to make throughout the game. This is going to encourage multiple playthroughs for a lot of people, or at least saving and replaying certain parts of the game to see how it all plays out. I would not be surprised if we do get some saves coming from people with regards to heavy decisions in the game. And yeah, overall, I think it makes a lot of sense to have all this customization and all this impact on the world. You can do things that anger your companions to where they could disappear for a time as well. So hopefully I don't hurt any of their feelings. I would be very disappointed by that personally. 3-person party size. Team felt it made a much more intimate experience. 2 companions gives them more visibility and focus, more spotlight. And then gameplay, timing, and positioning mattered a lot. Felt like the right balance with Rook's abilities. Actively engages your companions more in combat. So I can understand why they did this. I know a lot of people are going to be upset, but for me, it kind of makes sense. You can have the holy trinity of a rogue, a mage, and a warrior in the class at all times. You can do all three of the same if you want, but you can have the trifecta. And they showed off a bit of the pause menu where you can select different options, different abilities to use, but also commands for your companions. And I do see where they're coming from, where it's you have to make a decision on what abilities to use. You can combine them for different effects, and hopefully if everything flows well and it feels like every companion is having an impact on combat and not just there off to the side, kind of supporting but not really helping and not doing a lot of damage, then I can see this being just fine overall. But I also understand why people are frustrated, because it is always nice in a game like Dragon Age, when you have so many really cool companions, to bring as many of them along as you can. Asking about mages. Healing spells return. Mages, successors to Fireball and Cone of Cold attacks, are in the game. Necromancer, Elemental, and Combat Mage as the specializations. And Blood Magic. This is spoilery, but let me just say Rook has some real good reasons to avoid blood magic. So not really going to get into that because it is story-based, but I'll be interested to find out how that works out. I do like that there is a Necromancer option, and the Necromancer character actually looks very cool, but I do wonder what direction mages are going to take for the most part in their different playthroughs. Combat tactics and abilities now. The game is very tactical, increasingly important on higher difficulties. Cycle between targets both in and out of combat. Pause also gives information on enemies like weaknesses and resistances. Helps a lot to build your party to have detonation synergies. Queue up combo detonations. Combo detonations sound really cool, and hopefully they look as dope as they sound. Companions can be spec'd to revive you if you get KO'd. Again, that's very nice. Helpful companions will make the loss of one of them in your party much less meaningful. You will have more of a chance to have your companions really make an impact on the game, and you're not doing everything by yourself. 3 face button abilities each for Rook and each companion. Team emphasizes there's so much more, like an ultimate ability, multiple runes you can acquire that can do things like buffs, and other things that act like abilities. So hopefully lots of customizations and lots of ways to really make combat feel like you have your own playstyle that's different from a lot of other players. Sometimes games like this can feel very samey, and I hope that's not the case with the Veilguard. The Lighthouse is your base of operations, has a unique purpose and function, and will change and evolve over time. Also personalize some things. There's no war table, but there's a table of some kind for particular reasons. So I like that they're doing something different. I don't think a war table, again, like Inquisition, makes a lot of sense, but I do hope they have some kind of feature of you leading a force that allows you to passively generate some easy to find items and equipment and stuff like that. Stuff that is not game breaking, but is just getting rid of some of the tedious farming you might have to do. Many accessibility features. Varric's hair is more gray than brown. He's much older, obviously 10 years. On DLC's 100% focus on finishing the full game and make it the most complete single player game they can, but eventually I would imagine DLCs will be a thing if the game is as successful as I believe it will be. You can pet and hug Asan, the baby griffin, which is fantastic to hear, and means I will probably bring that warrior with me the whole time. Tavern Songs return. Tavern in Minrathos is called the Swan. And that is the whole of the information that we have today. Overall, I feel like it's a lot. Very excited to kind of give my thoughts on all of that. I can't wait to get hands-on with this game. I think it's going to be absolutely tremendous. And overall, I'm very excited. After seeing everything, I know everyone was hesitant when they saw the first companion trailer. But BioWare has had a history of doing these silly trailers for one reason or another when promoting the game. I actually like them, but I understand why people don't like the tone. However, based on everything they said, there will be blood and gore in the game, like you would expect from a game like this. It will be darker in tone, heavy storylines, lots of companion interactions, everything that you would want in a Dragon Age game. It has not been a top-down tactical game really since Dragon Age Origins. So anyone who is surprised by the fact that they've gone more in the direction of the action RPG when Inquisition sold twice as much as Origins and 3 times as much as Dragon Age 2, should not be surprised. Dragon Age Inquisition is going to be the biggest inspiration for this game, and honestly, that makes a ton of sense in my personal opinion. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. My name is Jopa. If you enjoyed the video, if you want to see more Dragon Age The Veilguard content from me going forward, I'm going to be posting a lot of it in the near future. Definitely like the video, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Helps me out, shows you want to see what this on the channel. My name is Jopa. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.